2:30 p.m. Eastern time, and here we are. We're gonna talk about what the announcement is. I've got to find it first, so bear with me. This is the first time we're doing this. You asked for it, so I thought I'd come online and share this with you. Anyway, I'm going to be playing around with these toys, so bear with me as we go and find out where here it is. Here it is. I got it. Let me just go live and share this with you, and let's have a conversation. Paul Barron. So we're going to join. Oh, here we go.
All right, so we're going to be going here live today.
So we'll join. I don't know who else's podcast can we join. Oh, I tell you, Ron's got a podcast going. Let's see where are they going to broadcast? Does anybody have a link to the broadcast? I can't do that. I don't know this guy. Where does the link? Anybody have a link? Do you have the link? Let me see. Okay, nobody here. We should get this out on the community chats. Here I am live streaming. Where is David Sachs? Let's do David Sachs press conference here. Everybody's searching for it. Here we go. Sponsored German. Oh man, everybody's doing this, so we're not the only ones. George, Cryptos Are Us press conference. Michael Whitman's doing it. CoinDesk is even doing it. They're waiting. Definitely not going to support Investing Bros. We're not the only one doing it. Crypto Banter. I'm going to go to Crypto Banter, see what they talk about. As always. Oh no, dude, I'm not going to do this. If it's in 2 hours. Let's see, where are we, dude? Where is this? I mean, we got to get onto YouTube. Crypto press. I mean, it looks like everybody. This Paul Barron guy seems to have his search down. He's getting a lot of. Anybody have a link? Anybody out there? Nobody out there. It's just me. I'm all on my own, lonesome, getting this going. How sad is that? Let me post. I don't know if I should post this, but I'm just playing around. No direct link. Does anybody have a direct link? God, the government doesn't have a direct link. But if it's not gonna come, there's so many sources out there. Yeah, what's he talking about?
The man the president says is the man. David, thank you for joining us. First of all, second of all, is this promises made, promises kept? Because Donald Trump said on July 27th that he would stop federal agencies from targeting the crypto industry. He made good on that promise today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, President Trump campaigned to be the first crypto president. He gave a now famous speech in Nashville where he described how he was going to change the regulatory environment for crypto. And he has now acted on that promise. He signed this executive order today. He's directed our.
So it was really interesting in at the Satoshi Roundtable in Dubai. Some of the conversations, it was really around soliciting input for representatives that could and had the ear of President Trump to get in the door. So this is real. They are listening to crypto participants. So it's not fake. I can tell you firsthand.
Our working group to produce a regulatory framework that's going to encourage innovation in crypto in the United States, keeping the industry onshore rather than driving it offshore, which is what was happening under the Biden administration.
I want to get to that framework in just a second. First, the executive order halts what President Trump calls aggressive enforcement actions and overreach. What is he talking about there?
Yeah, well, Edward, for the last 4 years, the Biden administration has basically prosecuted and persecuted crypto companies, really driving them offshore. I've heard so many outrageous stories by founders, by entrepreneurs. The Biden administration would not tell them what the rules of the road were, and they would then get prosecuted. And what the industry wants more than anything else is regulatory clarity. They're saying, just tell us what the rules are, we will abide by them. And the Biden administration would never do that. And because of that, all the innovation was basically moving offshore, and America was about to lose this technology of the future. And we want that innovation happening here in the United States. And I think it now will happen in the United States because President Trump has declared that the U.S. must be the crypto capital of the world.
So it creates this working group that you will chair. What will you be looking for, and what type of guidelines are you looking to put out?
Yeah, so a few areas. So number one, market structure. We need to define what is a security, what's a commodity, what's a digital asset or collectible. So there's a few different categories here. So defining the market structure is important. Second area is stable coins. I think stable coins are a really interesting area. It gives us the opportunity to extend the dollar's dominance internationally. We can basically create a digital dollar that people all over the world will use. And then the third area that we're going to look at is we're evaluating this national stockpile for digital assets. We haven't created it yet, but we're going to study that issue.
So looking at the stockpile, haven't made the decision to go forward. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yeah, we're going to evaluate that. We have not decided to do it yet. But we need to study that.
Is crypto an asset or a currency?
So is he going to be talking to us about?
Well, when you're talking about digital assets, it can be multiple things. I mean, you've got digital assets that are securities. You've got digital assets that are commodities. You've got digital assets that are collectibles like NFTs or meme coins. So, you're talking about a whole vast area of innovation. And so digital assets can be a number of different things. And that's why you need
out there. It's all the same people, man. Oh, live now from Fox. Let's see.
With abuse of the payment system. Now, in my view, much of this is of dubious legality and constitutional authority, and certainly flies in face of congressional responsibility.
Fox News. We are interested in the SAC stuff. Nobody's coming. Caution: China tariffs could devastate you. Investing Bros. Altcoin Daily.
The Trump administration is poised to be a powerful ally for the crypto industry. President-elect Donald Trump spoke highly of cryptocurrencies on the campaign trail, and his cabinet picks reflect that. On 60 Minutes, Margaret Brennan spoke with the head of a crypto firm about the incoming administration.
The United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done.
Before this cycle, in June of 2021, Donald Trump was saying, Bitcoin seems like a scam. Do you understand what happened with that transformation?
I didn't have a front row seat to that. I think it's clear that Donald Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Donald Trump.
Last week, Trump named David Sachs as his White House AI and crypto czar. In a statement, Trump says Sachs will help guide policy on areas, quote, critical to the future of American competitiveness. McKenna Kelly joins me now. She's a senior politics reporter for Wired. McKenna, thank you for being here.
Yeah, not sure if that was the right what's Crypto Banter saying?
You know, that's why I like things like Bitfine that way. You should trade with other people's money, for God's sake. Rather just trade with, if you can, rather just trade with other people's money. What's like? I don't understand why. I should have done that. I should have just done that. I should have just traded with other people's money.
Yeah, just like focus a little bit more. You know, I was also like, oh, there's enough room, I'm good, but just focus a little bit more on risk. I think it's been such a massive lesson for me.
Like that next time.
Just like tighten those stuff or do something, you know. Now I like when I saw these wicks, I was like, this market's crazy, but good volume spikes, good bounces. So hopefully this will give us some buying power. You know, I actually remember. You remember in August, the market capitulated. The alts capitulated, I think, like 30% in a day as well.
He's got to have a channel. It's got to be on CNBC somewhere. CoinDesk. Who should we listen to? Who else? George. How about
this is the headline story. The key crypto conference held by the new crypto czar, David Sachs. It's going to be at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, 1:30 p.m. Central time. A lot of speculation on what he's going to be talking about. Okay. First, that Bitcoin strategic reserve. Is he going to talk about that?
Ethereum,
but is he going to talk about other things
Litecoin,
in regards to Bitcoin?
Cardano.
Could be Bitcoin mining too. He could make it so that's very favorable.
We just had a call anyway with Charles earlier. So yeah, he's got a meeting in the White House, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, and he likes Truflation. So let's see what happens there. That could be pretty interesting. CBS News, anything, nothing today. I mean, Bloomberg podcast, DeepSeek is a wake-up call. Trump Face Nation 1 month ago. Come on, we got to get some new stuff. How come nothing's coming up? Come on, let's try another search live now. Why does Crypto Crow come up on top? What is the search algorithm saying?
Builders who are building, who are not those people, the folks who are really trying to solve problems for people across the globe, not only in America, may have more of a leeway to do that. And so, yeah, my answer to that is, I guess we just have to wait and see. And at least some progress is being made, because what was happening before wasn't really helping anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We actually published an op-ed.
Now, guys, the big news of the day, and this is pretty massive. Donald Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs, is going to be holding a press conference tomorrow to discuss how to secure America as the leader in the digital asset ecosystem. So many of you know David Sachs is the White House crypto and AI czar, and it's great to see they're moving, they're taking action, guys. This is huge. So the folks who will be participating in this press conference on digital assets is David Sachs, of course, Chairman Tim Scott, Chairman John Boozman, Chairman French Hill. Many of you know I had French Hill on the podcast many times. I expect to have him back on soon, and Chairman Thompson. So this is going to happen at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, February 4th. And I'm excited to see what comes out of this, guys. I mean, we could hear certainly about the Bitcoin reserve, the crypto stockpile, crypto legislation, because you got French Hill there, the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee.
Definitely going to be legislation. I don't think it's going to be anything about the strategic reserve. Yeah, that would be cool. How to make it American. I guess that's what they're going to focus on. What is that going to look like? Oh, here we go. You're not watching it. Fuck. It's in the lobby, yes.
And
Hey,
and
OBS,
all the other
timing.
key administration officials that have an equity in crypto. And similarly, the SEC has set a crypto task force led by Hester Peirce, which is also looking at this issue. And together, our objective is to accomplish the task the president assigned for us in his EO, which is to propose a federal regulatory framework governing the issuance and operation of digital assets, including stablecoins, in the United States. I've talked to many founders over the past few years, and they've told me repeatedly that the number one thing they need from Washington is regulatory clarity. They just want to know what the rules of the road are so they can abide by them. We're coming off, frankly, 4 years of arbitrary prosecution and persecution of crypto companies where the SEC wouldn't tell founders what the rules were, but then they would prosecute them. And many founders have even told me stories of being debanked personally just because they had founded a crypto company.
Yep.
All of this, this approach was driving this important technology of the future offshore, and we want to keep that innovation onshore in the US. Financial assets are destined to become digital, just like every analog industry has become digital. And we want that value creation to happen in the United States rather than giving it away to other countries. This will also, I should add, be much better for consumer protection because it's easier for regulators to supervise an activity when it's onshore. And it's probably not a coincidence that the single biggest fraud in the history of crypto, which was FTX, was based in the Bahamas. By moving the innovation onshore, it'll be easier to separate out the good actors from the bad actors. And we want to encourage the good actors while protecting the market from the bad actors. And I think a market structure legislation with clear definitions and fair rules will do that. I want to say additionally, we're excited about working with both the House and Senate on stablecoin legislation. I know Senator Hagerty introduced a bill today. This stablecoins really have the potential to ensure American dollar dominance internationally, to increase the usage of the U.S. dollar digitally as the world's reserve currency, and in the process create potentially trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. treasuries, which could lower long-term interest rates. So let me stop there, and I want to thank the chairman here today, Chairman Scott, Chairman Hill, Chairman Bozeman, Chairman Thompson. I look forward to working with them as part of the administration to help turn President Trump's policy into reality. This was a week one priority for the administration, and we're excited that our counterparts in Congress are equally committed to ensuring American dominance in digital assets. I look forward to working with each of you. And with that, I want to say work with each of you in creating a golden age in digital assets. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chairman Scott. Thank you.
Oh man,
I think David represents promises made, promises
we're going to do
kept.
something.
I love the campaign trail when President Trump was out there making promises, and we see today he's keeping those promises. And in so many ways, I think back to a kid as I was a long time ago, growing up in a single-parent household, mired in poverty, and hoping that the American dream would one day be accessible for me.
I think it's a lot more.
I think that we're standing here today at the precipice
get ready and do this
of greatness for so many kids
we need to do? How do we go
who are looking forward to democratization, having access points for their families and for themselves that makes it easier and less expensive to do business in this country. I love the concept that we see today, synergy within the administration, the House, and the Senate, focusing not on ourselves, but focusing on working class Americans who desperately need to reduce their prices and increase their access. That's what the bicameral working group will help tackle. I have a pre-existing working friendship with GT and French and John. And the good news is we come together already having proven the ability to work together to get things done for the American people. It's an exciting time to be an American. And as David said, the golden age has begun. And the good news is it's going to get better. I'm excited about what we will accomplish for the American people. I'm excited about the synergistic approach that we're taking in the House and the Senate.
Let's get French Hill in there. Get some real crypto news going.
Chairman French Hill.
All right, there we go. Here we go.
Thank you, Chairman Scott and David Sachs. Thank you for coming to Capitol Hill to celebrate with us the fact that in the 119th Congress, we have a bicameral project for both a stablecoins bill and a regulatory framework that will bring clarity to digital assets in the United States so that we are the land of opportunity, the land of innovation that we have been for decades in so many other technologies. We don't want to be behind in financial technology and digital assets in the United States, but our innovators, as David Sachs reported, need clarity. They need to know what the rules
Uh-oh. Oh, overload internet. Set up a committee to create a stable coin stable coin framework. See who else is Crypto Crow. What's it's like all pretty boring. Who's that? Alex Becker? No, Tom Crown. Who's he? Let's go back here and listen to this.
All the things that it does offer to the various disciplines that are out there, whether you're a bank or whether you're investing a client's money for their retirement or whatever, you've got protections.
Back live again.
There's structure in it, and
just switching
it will allow the industry itself, because it is regulated, people have confidence in that to grow. It's a little different than our normal situations in the sense we've got these jurisdiction things. So I'm the chairman of AG. You know, why am I here? Because we have the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and some assets are commodities, some are securities. So the SEC has jurisdiction over securities. CFTC has jurisdiction over the other. So the idea that we're working together,
so CFTC
again, we've all been
making its mark
working
and saying
separately.
we're
We've
taking
made
over
progress
crypto as a
over the last
commodity.
several years, but working
Which
together
is,
now with
to be honest,
purpose,
seems
and
a
then
bit more
also having the
favorable
White
than
House,
other
having
markets,
the
given that,
czar
like,
over here,
CFTC manages
again, to visit with him and really set up a structure
Kalshi,
so that we
gave
can get a
Kalshi the
final
license.
structure to make this thing work is very, very important. So I appreciate Senator Scott.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree
I
with
think
that.
really coming up with that idea. And I think it's a good one. And we're looking forward to actually get some things accomplished in the next several months.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congressman G.T. Thompson, Chair of the House Agriculture Committee. And this is what we're doing today is sort of the next step in what will be a milestone, which will be a great accomplishment for our country. You know, America really was a leader when it came to Internet 1.0, right? It was the Internet of knowledge. And the Internet 2.0, again, it was America that led that for the world, not just for our citizens, but for the world. And that was the Internet of
it was a really interesting slide.
Things. And then Internet 3.0 is what we're talking about today. And that's the Internet of value. And we're approaching it in a principled way.
There you go.
You know, my colleagues here mentioned a couple of those. Number one, do no harm. You know, protect consumers, provide that regulatory structure, that certainty, both for the industry, but quite frankly for the consumers as well. And secondly is foster innovation, because the opportunities are just really are unimaginable. Well, what I think, what I believe is that whatever's over the horizon is going to be very, very exciting. So I'm really Well, first of all, just very thankful to President Trump for his historic efforts to bring regulatory clarity to the digital assets markets. His leadership with the work that David Sachs is going to lead on his behalf is going to be a game changer for American competitiveness in the global race to build the new economy. The president could not have picked a better person to helm his AI and digital asset efforts. David brings a wealth of experience in exploring new technologies and building successful businesses to this new role. You know, we've had great conversations, and I know that he is laser focused on bringing certainty to digital asset markets. I want to congratulate my friend, Chairman French Hill. He is the right man to lead the Financial Services Committee in the House at this moment, in this time. And he's a great partner and the type of leader that we need to advance this issue. We worked incredibly well last Congress together alongside Patrick McHenry, and I'm excited to build on that work together. I also want to congratulate our newly elevated Senate colleagues, Chairman Bozeman and Chairman Scott. Perhaps there's no one more pleased than me to be able to say Chairman Bozeman. John and Tim and their members are going to bring a wealth of talent and expertise to this discussion from the Senate majority. We did incredible work in the House last Congress in the 118th, and I'm proud of the efforts that went into our historic vote on Fit 21. I'm equally excited to have these partners and a new administration in place to be able to finish the job. I'm thrilled to lead House Agriculture Committee members as we work with this incredible team to put a bill on President Trump's desk. And I think at this point, we're going to be in a position to take a few questions.
Thank you, everyone. You have to remember, this is still unprecedented, folks. This is a pro-crypto team looking to start finally doing what we've been begging the government to do for years.
I would just be a bit careful what they're asking for, man. I mean, they're going to get together and put together a law. And once it's done, we're all proud of it and excited. Let's hope that we can get the...
Well, thanks, Emily. We did do good work, good, strong bipartisan work on Fit 21, which was the clarity for a market structure bill. That bill, I think, had the basics for the exact bill that we'll propose to introduce again in the 119th Congress. There may be some modest changes, but it had bipartisan support. We did a lot of work in our markup and in the floor preparation for it in both the Ag Committee under Dusty Johnson leadership and G.T. Thompson's leadership and in House Financial Services. So on the regulatory framework bill, that'll be the approach that the House takes. On stable coins, I think you'll see us have a bill that's very similar to the approach that's been taken in the Senate. Recently, Senator Hagerty's introduced legislation. That bill was closer to the original proposal that Patrick McHenry put in place early in the 118th Congress, and I think you'll see the House expose a draft for stable coins that would be similar to the approach taken by
it's just
Senator
Hagerty.
But let me ask,
we're going to get together,
or,
and this is us who's going to put together.
So I established this year a digital asset subcommittee so that we could take a deep dive into
what
market
influence
structure
is
as
going
well
to
as
come
stable
in.
coins. Good news is stable coins led by Bill Hagerty.
So the question is,
side's out already today. We see
quiet, how fast
Cynthia Lummis is a co-sponsor.
What are they
Market
going to put in
structure
there?
is a place where you have
there's no
left and right leaning
indication
in.
of
We
what
have
they're going to
members
put in
from
there. I
Gillibrand
think we
and
just
Lummis
know
working
these
together
guys,
in the
and
past, now working
that's what
together
we're
in the
hoping
future,
for.
coming to the table to create the framework for the Senate so that we can
haven't said the word
harmonize
Bitcoin
Fit
yet.
21, the parts that we see as a path forward to a
Stablecoins.
signature into law. So the good news is, from my perspective, having the digital asset subcommittee really working on the market structure at the same time, simultaneously having Bill Hagerty lead the conversation around stable coins, having that bill out for us to take a look at. And there will be an amendment process, will be part of that for us. And then hopefully very quickly, we'll see the House, they're working on it as well. So we'll have a legislation that's able to go to the president's desk.
100%.
Let me just say, I'm very proud of the work that we did in 118th with Fit 21. And that was done in, you heard others talk about, we had Republicans and Democrats, certainly in committee and on the House floor, significant vote that we achieved. But I like to say we achieved that in a tripartisan way. We worked and bringing the industry, bringing key stakeholders to the table.
Back
And
at
so I look forward
96K,
to,
yeah, there you go.
quite frankly, on
We're
working
not
with
quite
my
there yet.
colleagues
Still
here
99K,
and
still
President
on the way
Trump,
down.
to continue that process of refining what we do, whether it's market
Yeah, this is
structures
pretty
and the
much a
other
non-event.
aspects of this bill.
More talk, no action.
I want to ask you all are thinking about making changes to anti-money laundering law as part of this push, given the concern
Talking about AML, KYC.
beyond and broader concerns about money transmitter licenses and festivities of AML.
We're certainly open for discussion. One of the things that the subcommittee will take a look at is the whole playing field. I mean, at the end of the day, to get all of our members on board, we're going to have to be open to comments and thoughts on the issue. I think we're in a good place. The Bank Secrecy Act is something that we've discussed with the other side. They have a focus on it. I think that the broader conversation should not be about digital assets alone. It's about bad actors doing bad things by any means necessary. And so having that conversation from a panoramic view and not simply from an digital asset perspective is going to be important for us to get to the end of that conversation.
Brendan, I would add, having been the subcommittee chair in the last Congress, and Brian Stiles is going to have that mission this time. He'll do an excellent job, I think, on the market structure bill and the stablecoin bill as it relates to the security aspects of it.
Two separate bills.
We were very sensitive in the 118th Congress about the law enforcement aspects of digital assets. Not any different than we are about any other means of transfer of or payment method, whether you're talking about cash or the ACH system or real-time payments. This is an important point. I agree with Senator Scott completely. We'll listen to our members. But in the drafts that we offered last year that, as I say, we had bipartisan support for, they had strict AML standards in them for this digital arrangement for digital assets that are not unlike the requirements out in the analog financial services space.
See, they're going to tie this back to the same way the analog world runs.
Because this is not
That's the scary
an
bit.
intermediated form of finance anymore. And so these laws have to reflect how transactions are conducted. But it's AML and BSA are important for every member on both sides of the Capitol.
Thank you for doing this. For both of the stablecoin and the FIT bills last year, I'm just curious this year whether you have any idea of the timeline when you expect to get this work through Congress. And then also after this ride along, anything like the part.
Well, we have to work on getting the farm bill. and we're going to do that. The time-wise, I think one of the most important things we're doing now, with every Congress, we have new members that retire or are defeated, and we have new members coming in. So we're starting that now and have started member education. And quite honestly, crypto is not the easiest thing to wrap your mind around. Not everyone comes into Congress with a good, full understanding and a thorough knowledge. And so member education is what our first goal is here. And then how it times up, it is, I think we've shown the ability to be able to move a market structures bill, well, FIT 21 as a whole, out of the House in the past. I think we're probably in a really good position to, when we conclude our work and preparation this time around, to be able to do that. So I don't see this
have a recording,
being attached to a
I don't
farm
think
bill.
we need the notes.
Thank you.
Hang on one second.
We have the
I would say,
recording, so I don't think we
thinking
need
about
the
this
notes.
a little bit.
We can
I think what we have is an opportunity to get things done. My theory is the first 100 days of a new administration is important. On the Senate side, my goal is to be as aggressive as possible to achieve an objective of having bills through the Senate in 100 days.
Just to go back to Emily's question on this and combine it with timing, Maeve, is here's the way to think about it. We did a lot of work in the 118th Congress in the House. So we're prepared to move forward in the House Financial Services Committee, and I won't speak for Chairman Thompson.
May is going to be an
introducing
insane
legislation,
month.
having discussion drafts.
May is going to be
attaching those to a set of committee hearings. But it's exactly as GT points out. We have new members.
It's interesting that they're plotting to start pushing bills by basically May, which is also the same time that Charles IOHK is looking to launch their version of Bitcoin OS, as well as probably midnight, I'm
to
guessing.
bring members along and do that member education here in the Senate, something that in the House, we had the benefit, obviously of 2 Congresses working on that. So I think a key element now, though, is the education and technical assistance that can be provided to members both in the House and Senate from the executive branch now, as President Trump's leadership posts are confirmed. And key among them is his AI and crypto advisor, David Sachs. And David, would you want to speak to this issue of helping members come up to speed?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So this is what we're here for. And I actually did a session even before the start of this Congress with Speaker Johnson. We did a great sort of open dialogue with members of the House in that case. And I think, part of what we're here to do is provide resources on education. Some of them can be outside advisors, kind of luminaries in the industry, and we're talking to a lot of those people. And then, I'm also available anytime to talk to members about this. It can, crypto can be a esoteric subject, and it is good to explain it, to kind of demystify it, because I think once you understand that, you've kind of got the cryptocurrency itself, like Bitcoin, but then what it really runs on are blockchains, which are just distributed ledgers. It's really a new type of decentralized computing platform, and there's a lot of things that can be built on that computing platform. So in any event, we're happy here to provide those resources to help explain it, both on Capitol Hill and beyond.
Thank you, Jasper Goodman with Politico. Thanks for doing this. Senator Hagerty is out with the stablecoin bill today. Given that that's out there and that there's been more consensus in the past about stablecoins as opposed to market structure, do you plan to move first on stablecoins ahead of market structure? And relatedly, to what extent in both of these processes do you plan to engage Democrats
even
versus
further?
going out alone?
It's now down at 98.
Yeah.
So it was up at 100.
So the bill's out, as you know. We have been working with Democrats already on the bill. You'll see co-sponsors will line up on both sides. Good news is that the bill is moving quickly. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at a place where you see very little bipartisan coalition building. The members of the committee, as well as folks like Gillibrand off the committee, are very anxious to have a win in this digital space. And so for the first time in a long time, there's a reason to take a deep breath and release it, because the legislation moving forward very quickly is happening. Good news is they have had, as French said, a lot of time working on the legislation as well.
It's dropping.
Finding that places where there are disagreement will be the key for us getting it to the president's desk. And that's where I think the task happens next, is to take a look at the component parts of Hagerty's stablecoin bill. But that's what we're moving first, is stablecoins.
So stablecoins first. Why stablecoins first? I
in
reckon.
The House, and I'll speak for the Financial Services Committee and then yield to my friend GT. We're proposing that we'll essentially move the stablecoins and a FIT 21 type structure, as I've now answered that question 2 or 3 times, on a similar track. And we're going to begin that process where we left off in the 118th Congress. And we worked hand in glove diligently with our colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle in the House.
They did give timelines, 90 days, 100 days, first 100 days of the administration.
Why is the audio not working? Because I switched
in the House, and we'll continue to do that. And you'll see that as we move forward with a set of hearings and the discussion. So I remain committed to trying to make these bills bipartisan success in the House.
Down at
and certainly we'll cooperate with the senators and try to be a part of any kind of educational effort here on a bipartisan base to support their efforts here in the Senate. GT.
I have the same commitments. I really don't have anything against.
Great. Last question, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jennifer Schwanberger with Yahoo Finance. On campaign trail, the president said he supported the Bitcoin reserve. I'm curious what.
Yeah, the Bitcoin reserve question.
And would the Biden administration consider putting crypto into a sovereign wealth fund?
And then the sovereign wealth fund having crypto. That's David Sachs.
So one of the things that the president instructed us to do was to evaluate the idea for a Bitcoin reserve, and so that is one of the things. That's one of the first things we're going to look at as part of the internal working group in the administration. So as soon as we get all that set up, we're still waiting for some cabinet secretaries who are on the working group to get confirmed. So we're still in the very early stages of this. But that's one of the first things we're gonna look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I think the concept of the sovereign wealth fund is a little separate, and you have to talk to Secretary Lutnick, or soon to be Secretary Lutnick, about that.
Thank you all very much.
Oh man, that was such a diplomatic answer. We got nothing.
Okay, so
really out of
wrapping
that.
up there on what unfortunately was a nothing burger, guys. But
Exactly.
at the same time, I think there are
A nothing burger. That's the way to call it, I guess.
for crypto ever. So that in itself, I think, is a pretty big sign of what's to come. What I'm a little bit concerned about is that this is business as usual in DC. And I hope that David Sachs, if you're watching this right now, don't fall into that. You've got to be able to
Anyway.
lead this. And I think this
I
is a
think
factor
the
that is
reason
going to
why they're
either make
running
or
a-
break
let me
this
turn this
market
guy
in the
off a
next.
little bit. I think the reason why they're actually stalling the decision and really focusing on, it went up a little bit, so that's not nice. That's not 98 anymore. But yeah, look, it's still 98,000. But yeah, the reason why they're focusing on the stablecoin is so that stablecoins, basically, they're all backed by dollars. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be a requirement that you need to back your stablecoins with dollars. That way, they can get stablecoins out there competing in the global marketplace and distributing the dollar and retaining dollar dominance. Yeah. And in crypto land, we all know that US dollar denominated stablecoins own and dominate 99+% of the market. So it's going to be dollar. And let's see. Yeah, I think this is really, and then ultimately, all the government needs to do, they can just print the dollar. They can still be in total control, but we're not touching any dollars. We're just touching stable coins. And it's the companies. So the new banks are going to be the new stablecoin issuers. And it's just going to be B2B. And it's not going to be gold as the reserve. It's going to be the dollar as the reserve to all these stablecoins out there. Brilliant. Anyway, that's it. Sorry, again, bit of a nothing burger, but glad we could come up together. Glad you enjoyed it. Any thoughts on the stablecoin side? Nothing in the community, no comments. Thibaut always got good points. Not sure if you're still there, but yeah, let's see. We will take some of this input, digest this, and work with it and see how we can put together a bit of a proposal. I mean, it's just, they're not going to listen. No matter what we put together, these are lawmakers. They're going to structure whatever they think is best for a re-election and securing funding for financing the re-election. And in order to become and run for a governor or a seat in the House, or even a Senate seat, I'm not sure about governor, but on a Senate seat, you're going to need $40 million minimum. That's minimum. So yeah, you're going to need about anywhere between 50 to 100 at a state level to become and secure your position. So this should get them a couple of millions of dollars from crypto voters, because they're on there and crypto voters want to influence and lobby these individuals who are on a committee that's going to be drafting bills for stablecoins. And guess who's going to be there? It's going to be Circle. Will Tether be lobbying? I don't know, but you can be sure Circle's there. Athena, will they be there? I don't know, but yeah, will the chains be there? Anyway, it'll be interesting times. Yep, we need to get truth on the front of the table and front of mind. And we're already working on that. And we're getting other people to talk about truth versus us always talking about it. So we had a really good call today. I mentioned who, and we were on their channel beforehand. So if you were here earlier, you get it. But yeah, we will start flexing some muscles now. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night and see you on Thursday. See you then. Bye, everybody.